what is the primary ideology or primary ideas that fuel Gorgoroth's music?
Satan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Analytical Fanboys, the podcast where two guys talk about things that are selected randomly from a list of things they suggested to each other. I am one of your co-hosts, Simeon the Vacuuminator Scott, and I am joined, as always, by my patiently satanic co-host, Chris Boingo Rider Gaston. How are you doing, sir?
Good, and hail Papa.
Oh, yeah. So how you been since the last episode, man?
Well, been grooving out to some sick-ass beats.
Yeah, definitely.
If you haven't been able to... I love Ghost. They're one of my favorite bands.
We'll get into it, but I can see why. Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So tonight we're going to be talking about an album that Chris put on the list, and that is Meliora by Ghost BC, which is a band I'd never heard of before, but I listened to this whole thing a few hours ago, and I gotta say, I totally see the appeal of them, and I even really dug a few of the tracks. So we're going to go track by track on this thing, but first, Chris, why don't you give us a little backstory as to what you find interesting about this band and why you chose them for this entry on the list?
Oh, yeah. Ghost is a Swedish metal band. Now, when you say a Nordic country and they're doing metal, you typically would think of, what? Death metal, black metal, doom metal, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I was expecting this to be very aggressive, I'll say.
Yeah. Corpse paint, the whole 9 yards. This is... The best way I can put it is it's throwback metal. It's looking at that 70s early metal mentality, Blue Oyster Cult, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, that kind of early metal, where it was a lot more, let's play the blues, make it sinister, and add a bunch of evil imagery to it, and people ate it up. And that's what Ghost is, really.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I really dug them, because I've never been a big metal guy. It's always just a little much for me. But this was really fun. I'll say that. I found it a really fun experience. Which is weird to say about something that's about Satan.
Yeah, this album's about Satan, but there's also like other things that I'll get into when we get into the more musical stuff later and the themes and things. But Ghost, because they are called Ghost, they are only called Ghost BC in America. Well, used to be Ghost BC in America because there was a previous band called Ghost, copyright issue, so they threw the BC on there to placate, similar to Blink-182. Eventually that whole thing got sorted out. Now they're Ghost internationally.
Nice.
The first album was fronted by Papa Emeritus 1. The second album was fronted by Papa Emeritus 2, and this one, the third album, is fronted by Papa Emeritus 3.
Okay, so this is the third album. I wasn't quite sure about that.
This is the third true album, because they also do mini albums, micro albums, the best way maybe to call it, where they do a couple covers and maybe a single thrown into it. Like there's one right after Meliora, which has Square Hammer and a cover of the Eurythmics and a couple other covers of Swedish bands, but we're not talking about that.
I wouldn't YouTube them so I could put some of their other songs in just like my playlist of music to eventually listen to. And I saw they have a cover of Dance the Macabre. I'm super interested to see what that sounds like at some point.
Dance Macabre.
Ah.
Okay, macabre. It's like macabre.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not that song?
No, it's a brand new song.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No.
I can't read.
Oh, you're cool. The cool thing, when they were promoting that song, because that's one of their new ones, they had it on their Instagram story with a bunch of other metal people listening to it and dancing to it. Guess who was also in the music in that little like promo bit?
I'm gonna say, who's a metal guy I know?
You're not gonna guess this, but it's a fun thing, and you'll find it enjoyable.
Okay, go for it.
Chris Jericho and Aleister Black.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
See, I almost said Elias as a joke.
Oh. But
that's great.
Yeah. Ghost is one of my favorite bands. They're awesome. I want to see them live so bad. You know what fans of Ghost call their live shows?
What's that?
Rituals.
Makes sense.
Like, you can buy a faceless ghoul, nameless ghoul. You can buy a ghoul mask for like $60.
Is that what the band guys in the Circle video are?
Yeah, the rest of the band, they're called ghouls. The only character in Ghost who have a name is the lead singer, and it changes every album. Technically.
Okay, you cut out for a second there. Could you repeat that for me?
The only member of Ghost who have a name is the lead singer, and it technically changes every album.
Okay.
I say technically because we can get into that later, or I can spoil it right now.
Well, if we can get into that later, I suppose we'll get into that when we get into it.
All right.
So yeah, like I've been saying, I really like this. I thought the thing as a whole was a really cohesive piece. The videos were pretty interesting. One of them I really liked. One of them I was kind of like, okay, this is cool. I get where you're going with this. And everything flowed very nicely. There's two tracks in particular that, like, if it hadn't been two separate videos in the YouTube playlist I was listening to, I would have thought it was the same song, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. But my basic take on this is this album, at least, strikes me as a serious-faced parody of Christian music. At least the kind of Christian rock I was listening to growing up.
Oh, yeah. All you have to do is think about He Is.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the track. That is the track where this popped into my head. It's like, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay.
And it makes a lot more sense when you see what they look like, because they look like an anti-church.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the lead singer is. He's an anti-pope.
So, let's go ahead and start getting into it and talk about the first track, Spirit. I really like this. This is where I had that moment of, like, you know, I was somewhat trepidatious hitting that play button. I didn't know what I was gonna get. I was expecting some very heavy in-your-face rock. And then it's like, it's totally chill and fun, and judging by the lyrics, because, like, this is a thing I have, is, like, if a song's good and I'm not watching the video for it, then immediately it gives me, like, this image in my mind, and that's what the song is to me. This is like, if there was a movie called Rocky Horror Picture Show Goes to Hell, this would be the number they do as they're entering hell.
Oh, yeah. Which, I could talk about a little bit of the theme, because that nails it on the head.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm interested. I want to know more. Tell me more.
So, there was a loose concept lore for the first two albums. It was there, but it wasn't really concrete. This is one where they started to solidify some of the ideas a little bit more. The first album is The Birth of the Antichrist. The second album is The Rise of It. And the third, which is this one, basically is the people, the group of humanity realizing that there is no God and turning to the satanic church for some form of guidance.
Okay. That's interesting.
And you can see it.
I can totally see it.
Yeah. Like you can, like, I can bring it back up with further songs, but this the first one is Spirit. It's basically saying, hey, like, I got the lyrics right up here. Throw yourself into the vessel of possibilities, your green muse. It's basically saying, hey, start thinking outside of the box.
Mm-hmm. It was a great track for somebody who isn't Christian anymore, but also was raised Christian, and just talking about my own perspective here, and is sort of the idea that everything related to religion is bullshit. Not to offend anyone who's into it. I don't have anything against you people. No one who's specifically listening to this podcast, I probably don't have anything against you. It's just the concepts that bother me. But anyways, this track sort of said to me, like, okay, this is not what you're used to. This is not what you were brought up with. This is not what you're into now. But it's gonna be something different and fun. Just go with it.
Yeah. It's like, the best way to describe it is a devil church, and this is just how they proceed with a sermon.
Mm-hmm.
This is coming into the church and sitting down into the pews and everything.
Yeah. Anything else to say with this? Because I don't feel like there's much else for me.
There's some cool alcohol references, absinthe and stuff like that. But it's just mostly like a motif for the song to get its ideas across.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to From the Pinnacle to the Pit, the second track, which has a video. I can tell you're very into this.
This is one of my favorite songs of the album. This is near and dear to my heart.
See, I enjoyed this, but I wouldn't say this is like one of my favorites. This is like second tier for me. Especially the video, because the video is fun. I like the whole like 30s and 40s horror feel to it. Like, this seriously reminded me of like Black Cat, Metropolis, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It reminded me of those kind of movies.
Well, it helps that they repurposed a lot of public domain film footage.
Yeah, that's clearly what's going on here. And also, clearly, Frankenstein, because there's the whole preaching of giving the power of God to a man. I like that it's like a dark superhero thing, almost. Actually, you know what? That brings me to, I forgot I thought of this, but while watching this video, by the time you get to, I don't think she has a specific name stated, but like the mistress, sort of love interest in the video.
A flirt interest.
Yeah, flirt interest. That's a good word for it. I was like, this is kind of anti-Captain America. Like, if you're going by the first Avenger MCU origin, and I really dug that for some reason.
Oh yeah, that could work. It felt very much of like because the music video specifically, it was a secret society trying to bring up this one person as a pinnacle, a paragon of their ideals, and realizing that the power he now wields shouldn't be used in control, but for freedom, and giving that back to the people.
Yeah.
Which ties into the lyrics very, very well, because it's all about Lucifer and fighting God, and it's a long way down.
Mm-hmm. And oh man, that final image where he flies up, and then it's you can see the whole globe.
Yeah,
that was straight out of Metropolis to me. I love that.
And he turns into I don't remember if it's specifically Papa 3. He turns into a Papa. It's probably Papa 3.
I love the way you talk about them, because the way you talk about them is like the way people talk about the primes in Transformers.
Sure. You can also think of it like Ghost is kind of like gorillas.
Alright, you're about to scream at me. I know literally nothing about Gorillaz except that it's a popular band from the early 2000s.
They're still popular. Thank you.
Excuse me.
The Gorillaz, the main thrust of it was that it was a fictional band playing real music made by a producer. So the characters would also just be wild and crazy, and that's a similar thing with the Three Papas and now the Cardinal. I haven't mentioned the Cardinal because that's for the next album coming out.
Alright.
So it's not really relevant to this conversation, but there is a new lead singer called Cardinal Copia.
Interdasting.
He's great. But also, I just want to talk about the musicianship and the composition of this, because music guy.
Go ahead. You know way more about that shit than I do. All I know is like, oh, it sounds good. I like that bit of guitar there. I like that bit of drum there.
The motherfucking bass line thumps your heart so fucking much. It's great. Like, it just starts you off on a fucking run. Yeah. That's one reason why I love this song. It's just the bass line is just dun, 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 dun. I love a solid bass line.
So you want to move on?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about Circle, which is the other track. Sorry?
Circe.
Circe. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just glancing at the playlist here and trying to keep my eyes on the call. But so Circe is the other track on the album with a music video, and might be my favorite track from this. I really liked it. I really liked the whole thing with the video, the talent show with the kid dressed as a papa, and his parents are so proud, but everybody's like losing their shit in the auditorium except for them. And this one little girl who clearly did not want to be there, but is now like falling in love with this demonic priest. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, this is great. This is a wonderful metaphor for so many things, and I love it. And it's also really adorable.
Oh, yeah. There's actually, I saw a little fan theory that girl and that kid being Papa are actually the younger forms of Papa Nil and his wife mistress thing, and they are the parents of Papa 1, Papa 2, Papa 3.
Huh.
Because also, yeah, there is a Papa Nil. He plays the saxophone.
I would like to shake his hand.
He's fucking, like you describe Ghost to a person. Oh yeah, it's a heavy metal band. They're from Sweden. They talk about Satan all the time and all this stuff. And people go like, oh, it must be this very, very dark, very, very harsh band. And then you show it to them and it's like, no, it's fun. It's full of goofs and gags, and the fans make a shit ton of memes. Like, I sent one to you earlier of the Cardinal.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Like let me just... the latest... one of the newer music videos for Ghost is for their new single from the new album called Rats. Okay.
Yeah, that came up when I went and looked for more music on YouTube.
Yeah, it's the first time we saw Cardinal Copia being the lead singer. And it's this... The best way to put it is it's an anthemic arena metal song. And throughout the whole music video, the Cardinal is dancing like Michael Jackson.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I have to watch that when we're done here.
It's so fucking good. The Cardinal is great. There's it's so good. But back to Circe.
Yeah. I don't know, it's just a really good track. the song worked good. Like, I don't know what I would picture for this had it not been for the video. Like, I can't think about anything other than just what was going on in that video. Like, the song just fits so well for what they did. Though, I'm pretty sure had I listened to the song before I saw the video, I probably would have thought of something different. But that's why I'm glad I watched a playlist that had the video in there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else from you on this track?
The music is fucking great. There's a great... I don't know if it was actually a timpani drum or it just sounded like it. In the music video, they used a timpani drum, which is an orchestral drum. Dum, dum, that one. It really...
Oh, yeah. That was good.
It really... it sounds like thunder. It's great. But I also want to, bring up something in the lyrics. To me, after the first couple times I listened to the song, part of me felt like this was something almost an abusive relationship.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, but I totally got that from it, too. That was one of the things I thought it was an allegory for, was the beginning of an abusive relationship.
Yeah, specifically, it's one of the pre-choruses. Can't you see that you're lost? Can't you see that you're lost without me?
Yeah.
Really solidifying, oh, no, you're nothing. But with me, you're great.
Mm-hmm. A lot like... and this is another place where I got the Christian music parody thing from. That's a lot of what the lyrics in Christian songs, at least the ones I've listened to of recent years.
Oh, can I go on a fucking tangent real quick?
Do it.
Okay. My mother and my sister go to I will say this, they're a very nice church. They're very welcoming. They're great people. They do a lot for the community. I have no problem with them. They are great people. They are not that dogmatic, fire and brimstone kind of Christian church. No, they're just very cool people. I have no ill will to them. But they like to play more contemporary Christian music. Which, okay, fine. It's understandable. It's good. But every time I've gone there, because my mom wants me to go there for Christmases and special events and things like that, and I go okay, fine, they're nice enough people, I don't care.
But she makes you be a part-timer, basically.
Yeah, and I'm fine, because they're nice enough people and I like helping them out. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Every time they do music, every time, it is the most saccharine, everything's great because of Jesus, and I just go this is not how you get a message across. You're just giving the end. You're not giving any of the work toward it. And part of me just wants to tell them, hey, you want to know how to make these songs 10 times more effective? Before you play them, play a song about losing faith. Play a song about being in a bad place. You want to know how to make that Christian song work so much better? Play Hurt, the Johnny Cash version before that.
Mm-hmm. Because I guess we'll go ahead and have this discussion. I wasn't expecting to do this tonight, but whatever, it works. That's one of my big central problems with Christianity is the idea that God instantly makes everything better. And people can say all they want when they're trying to be apologists for Christianity to me of no, God is just a part of the solution, and the church is the thing that provides that part. But it's all you people talk about is if you have God, things will be great. That doesn't help anyone because, I'm sorry, there's no proof. God is an abstract concept. An abstract concept that alone does not help someone. And that's why it's stupid, and that's why the lyrics of this song parodying that idea makes it so great.
Even if, and by the way, getting back to the Ghost song, Cersei, there is a lyric in here that is really cool, that even though it is a kind of a take on this idea, it's the second verse. I know your soul is not tainted, even though you've been told so. That has been a Christian doctrine. The first sin, that kind of thing. You are born a sinner, and it's basically a person. And this is, I'm pretty sure,
every church but the Catholic Church loves to apologize for original sin.
Yeah. but I'm pretty sure I haven't done research, and I don't want to quote anything, and I don't want to say this for certain, but I think there is a sect of Satanism that says, yeah, no, you're not born evil. And that's what this, I feel like this is kind of being a take on. But,
yeah.
But what I'm saying,
I see that.
Back to the little tangent I had, I just feel like anybody who goes to church to look for, I'm going through a shit time and I just want some help, if they hear Hallelujah by by Cohen, and then hear But Things Can Get Better, that would help that person 10 times better and would make the set list sound 10 times better, because then you go through something dark and then you get lifted up. Just from a purely artistic standpoint, it can be better.
Yeah, but the thing about churches, and I know this because my mom is usually pretty close with the pastor of the church and his family. So I've heard a lot of like stuff pastors will say when they're not preaching, and a lot of what I hear points to like, well, we want to be so inclusive. We want to make sure anybody can just come in and understand that God is good, God is great, God is going to help you out. So and this is something I'm inferring from that. It seems to me like they're afraid of potentially alienating somebody by even hinting at the idea that things can be bad if you're a Christian.
Yeah, but that's problems with a lot of things, and it's just a bunch of things, and we can get into it, but I feel like this is not the place to discuss that.
This is not the religion cast. However, if you want, listeners, we'll put that on the topic list. It'll probably get us a lot of shit, but we'll do it. Because we're monkeys who dance for your amusement.
Yeah.
Anyway, Meliora.
The next song is Sporksonnet.
Oh, okay. I had no idea how to pronounce that. I was going to get you to.
I'm guessing just because I think the double dots over the O just adds a little bit of weird to it. So Sporksonnet. Yeah. They're from Sweden.
Are they? I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. We can get into it after we talk about the track list a little bit more about the whole Swedish thing.
Yeah.
Because there's some stuff that you might find interesting after we talk about the art.
Okay. So this is just kind of like a brief little interlude track. It sounds nice. It would make for, I think, maybe a decent backing track in a video, but, that would have to be in the days before Content ID.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a palate cleanser into the next concept, because the next couple songs are very not different in tone, but different in intent. I would say, so let's go ahead and move into He Is, which is track 5. I think things get a little more aggressive and a little more, okay, this is how it is with us in this track. And I like that. I feel like this is actually the midway point of the album, so it's a good place to start doing that. Yeah, and especially if you think about it as the concept of, there, like, the humanity is seen, there is no God, and they're turning to the Satan Church for it. The interlude is like time passing, and this is a sermon for this group of people. They are now cemented. This is that part of the time. Yeah,
the image I had for this song was like this is like a sermon in a Satan church, and also it sort of feels like a direct parody of another certain kind of Christian music, a certain type of song that's been very prevalent in recent years. If you listen to any Christian station for a good amount of time, you'll hear some song about somebody just saying, talking about God is this, God is that, and this almost sort of feels parodying that, of just saying, well, He is.
Yeah.
And just saying that over and over again, but in slightly different ways. And it works. It works great. This track is really fun.
Oh, yeah. And they just replace all the Jesus imagery with Lucifer stuff. Like, He is the guidance of the morning star. He will lead the way into the void.
Could you actually link me to the lyrics you have? Because I'm finding I'm forgetting more stuff than I thought I would. So maybe those will help me along a little more.
Yeah. I'm sending you the Genius link so you can also click and see people's interpretations of it.
Heyo.
But this also had a music video.
That was not in my playlist. Go ahead and tell me about that.
If I remember right, the music video... Let me just actually rewatch a bit of it so I can make sure I got it right.
Okay.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. We're professionals. No, we're not. We don't get paid.
We are.
This... Okay, you want to know what the music video literally is?
What is it?
It's Papa Emeritus III in a black void in a nice white suit embroidered with gold, talking to roses sensually, and then it transitions to actually him preaching in a church with a choir and everything.
That's great. Oh my god, I've got to watch that later. But yeah, I listened to this without the video, and the thing I envisioned, because now that I'm looking at the lyrics again, I forgot about the star-crossed lovers part. But that made me picture, like, this couple who are seeing, like, the world is about to end, Satan's armies are about to come up and do battle with the armies of God. We're at the entrance to hell, and they're down there getting ready to come up. Let's just fucking kill ourselves, because we're not going to survive anyway. Yeah. That's what I got out of this.
We're falling over the precipice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is just a very nice ballad-esque song. It sounds really sweet, but the lyrics, like, really undercut that, and it's great.
Okay, so this was the track that I thought transitioned really well into the next one, which is Mummy Dust. I feel like this song ends, and if your internet is quick enough and it switches right over to the next track in the playlist, it doesn't even sound like it changed to another track. It sounds like it took a brief break, and then the guitar kicks right up, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I always love it when that happens in an album. Yeah, this Mummy Dust, the 6th track, it struck me as just like a very fun rock track. Like, this strikes me as like something you put on for people to really headbang to when you're doing a live show, or mosh to if it's that kind of crowd. And I didn't really catch a lot of the lyrics, but I'm looking at them here, and it's very repetitive. You know, in God you trust, my mummy dust dust. There's some good other stuff here, but I'm not sure exactly what to take for it, so I'll let you mostly talk about this track.
Yeah, it's very good, just classic metal kind of instrumentation and everything. Look at one of the interpretations someone had, focuses on people's greed, which you can see that, especially with, if you remember Victorian England's obsession with mummies. Do you know about that?
Yeah, it was like back when mummies were first discovered in Egypt, they would be like shipped all over Europe and shown off, and it was like, well, this was before rock stars, but mummies were treated like rock stars.
Oh, even more than that, like, they would oftentimes take parts of mummies, crumble them up, and use them in snake oil concoctions. And there was even, like, paint colors called mummy brown based on, like...
Okay.
These...
Yeah. Okay. I get where this is coming from. I can... Yeah.
Evil doesn't come from some nebulous thing like Satan. Evil is there.
Evil is just humans fucking up and doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really works. And, okay, so I had this sort of, idea that popped into my head about, these two tracks and the next track, Majesty, where I was talking about, you know, the armies of hell are about to come up with Majesty, and Mummy Dust is like them charging into battle, and then, for me, Majesty really gave me the idea of, like, okay, this is, the entire army is out now, and now coming up at the end to be commanding the charge is Satan himself, and this is a song about what the experience of the Prince of Hell coming out into the world is like.
Yeah.
You know, a higher power underground from Seth skies and now to chaos bound. He's sitting sacred and profound.
But you also got to think about it, like
looking up to kiss his crown. I mean, that's it right there.
You broke up completely. I heard nothing. Again, heard nothing.
Are you there?
Can you repeat?
I thought you cut out.
I think my internet pooped a little. Can you repeat what you just said?
I just read the first lyric here. A higher power underground from Zephyr skies now to chaos bound. He's sitting sacred and profound in midst of sinners looking up to kiss his crown. That's the song right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's Satan's here, and everybody is like going like, "Oh fuck yeah, it's Satan!"
Exactly like that. They're all doing it in that dude bro fashion.
Yes. Pathetic humans in despair deface the flower, now to death devote a fallen angel in his glare, and the chaos and the chorus really like solidifies it. Old one, master, all beauty lies within.
Mm-hmm.
It is a reverent song, just about Satan.
Yeah, and that's fun. I'm sorry, I'm memeing out. I keep going like, yeah, this is about Satan, and it's fun.
Oh yeah.
But the next track is Devil Church, and that's an instrumental, but it's really nice. I liked it a lot. It felt, again, just like that experience of what it would be like to actually sit in one of these ceremonies or rituals, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Absolution, which is another really good track. Just, again, this reminds me about the sort of abusive relationship that religion can have with people, and they're trying to, not empathize, but emulate. They're trying to emulate with this album, but also parody at the same time, and it works really well. Ever since you were born, you've been dying. Every day a little more, you've been dying to reach the setting sun. As a child, with your mind on the horizon, over corpses to the prize you kept your eyes on, trying to be the chosen one. That actually hits kind of close to home for me, because that's like, in a way, that reminds me a lot of how I see my struggle as just trying to get ahead in life and trying to become an artist, and the sort of allure religion doesn't offer me, and has never really come off as to me, but can offer other people, of like, if you were only like super into God, you could do this thing you really want to do with your life. In in the fictional universe of this album, that's literal and real. And they're saying, if you join our Satan church, Satan will make you great. So let's go ahead and move on to the penultimate track, which is
actually real quick. I want to talk about this one person's interpretation of absolution on this thing, which makes total sense. Reading it and go like, yeah, no, that's totally what it's about. It narrates the story of a lavish man or woman that believes their material gatherings set them apart from everyone else, that gives them a ticket straight to heaven. And it's like, you see that in so many fucking people.
Yeah.
It's just, and it really solidifies of like, no, evil doesn't come from a nebulous source. Evil's within, and you gotta understand it.
Definitely. I mean, that is a thing a lot of people do, even though, like, if I remember right, that's one of the core tenets of Christianity, at least that they constantly preach against, is material wealth can't help you, God can. And that's kind of what this song is picking up on, I think. If this guy's interpretation is right.
Yeah. But here's the thing, it can be right because of last will and testament of the author, so.
Huh.
Because Papa said, another song based on a bass line, like the third song on the disc. Lyrically speaking, it is a lament of the modern woman or man who spends their lives thinking that their possessions have something else that allow them to be above any responsibility.
Okay. So it's totally there.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the penultimate track then. This is Deus in Absentia? Absentia?
Deus
Is that
Absentia.
right?
Yeah.
Yay, I got it right.
It's based on Latin. Think Latin. Think Romance language.
Yeah,
Deus
actually,
in Absentia.
The reason I was kind of surprised to hear that this was the third album was I went and looked up what Meliora means on Google, and it means better. So I thought, like, okay, that sounds like a good thing to call your second album, is just better than the first.
But you could also take better as the devil church that this band is, saying, this is a better way of thinking.
Yeah, I totally get that.
That could be what it's intended as. It could be.
Could be. We don't have the guy here.
Yeah.
However, if he wants to do an interview, feel free to email us at analyticalfanboys@gmail.com.
Yeah, two American schmucks gonna interview a Swedish rock god. Yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. But Deus Absentia directly translates to an absence of God.
Oh my God! He's not here. Where'd he go?
Yeah, so that kind of solidifies the whole theme of the album of God's not here. The people are turning to the Satan church. They're turning to material possessions. They're turning to greed and money and all these kind of things. And it's basically saying like, yeah, this is the world.
Looking over these lyrics, it is literally like a Southern revival sermon about you've tried everything, things are going to shit for you. Your only choice is to turn to us because we can help you. We are the people who know what's up here.
Remember, you know that you're lost. You know that you're lost without me.
Yeah. And that's exactly the kind of stuff that's going on here. In this your time of need, you're turning to the light. You have just begun to explore the dark in the urban night.
The world is on fire. It's apocalypse. It's in the days.
It's good. I like this song. It totally works and gives you that feeling of like the people on the outskirts of the battle who are unsure as to what's going on, but also know there's not much they can do. dig it. Anything to say about the instrumentalism?
Let me refresh my memory real quick, because I think it was very beautiful. It was like very...
Yeah. Sounds very ornate, I would say.
Oh, yeah. I remember listening to this first time and just went like, this is kind of Ghost going prog rocky, like taking a little bits of it, like
definitely,
the pads, the IRL sound effects because of the clock and things.
Yeah, I forgot about that stuff. That was so much fun. Hearing that pop in for a little bit was really, really neat, I thought.
Yeah.
So, should we go ahead and get on to the final track then?
The final track. I'm trying to make sure, because Zenith. You know what? Yeah. I listened to the original release, not the deluxe, because that's part of the deluxe.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. I am at Meloria's album. The original track listing for the first version was Spirit, Pinnacle, Circe, Spooksnut. You know what his code name is? Ghost Sonata. Spook Sonnet.
Wonderful.
He is Mummy Dust, Majesty, Devil Church, Absolution, Deus, in Absentia. And then the limited LP had Zenith and the radio version of Circe. So Zenith is part of it, but...
You did not listen to that for this?
No, but we can... Let me listen to it, and then we can get into talking about it and just... Hey, you know what would be fun? Get my live reaction because as a Ghost fan.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do... Have you not heard this song before?
No, I don't think I have. I think I listened to Meloria by itself and and the other two albums by themselves and the new singles, but I don't think I've listened to this because I think it was...
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
This was in the official YouTube playlist, so I listened to it and assumed it was the final track. But that's kind of funny that you're the guy who's like the big Ghost fan here, and I've listened to this song before you.
Yeah, I'm listening to it right now. So piano's dope. This is not meant to be an insult, but I'm getting some meatloafy vibes.
Yeah, just slightly.
Okay. Oh man, this is fucking great.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. Like, it's up there.
Oh yeah, it's orchestral, it's operatic, it's...
I mean, as I was going through this, I kind of just, whatever tracks I really dug, I went ahead and put them in my my regular music listening playlist that I have on YouTube. So I could go through and tell you what ones I added.
Yeah. I'm also just looking through the lyrics just so I can get a clearer picture quicker. So help you God, come unleash, you're set free. Basically saying, yo, letting go of your identity and saying, hey, I have no control over who I am. Nah, fuck that. You're free.
Yeah. It feels like, okay, the battle is over, Satan has won, the demons have inherited the earth, and thus he's giving it over to you, and now you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Devoured by shadows, deluded by wisdom.
It's very much, this whole song, or this whole album rather, is very much about self-empowerment and determinism, and those are two things that I'm really big into. Those are some of my core philosophies, and
especially with this last one, the zenith fades into eternity. Basically, the Almighty is gone. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Now you're just free to be whatever you want to be. And that's something I really believe in, is if you are determined enough and have enough resolve, and you have the time to do the work, you can get to any point you want to get to. Which is a big part of why I've stuck with my YouTube career, even though I've never become successful, quote unquote, and I've had a lot of false starts. And it was only just recently I really started gaining traction personally on my channel. But
there's my dumbass not doing anything.
You're busy. You got a job. You're doing this. You'll get back to videos eventually.
Oh yeah.
I really dig this track, and I really dug this whole album. One thing I actually really forgot to bring up is the lead singer. I'm assuming it's the same guy who plays all the papas.
We will get to that once, but yeah, I'll cut the song off a little short just so we can talk more about it, because I just finished the bridge. But yeah, the beautiful. I just imagine swarms and armies just rampaging. It's, I like the image I got in my head is gonna sound really dumb. I imagined the orc army from Lord of the Rings just rising up and just marching.
I can see that, yeah.
But
this was the lead singer's voice actually, because I was expecting that, hard metal, the guy who's just kind of growling into the microphone, saying the lyrics as loud as he can. That's what I went in expecting. This guy's got like a much more fun, sort of laid back, sort of this is how it is, guys, kind of voice. It reminded me a lot of like the more like goofy 90s rock bands, but like in a good way. Like you're putting this into a seriously toned thing, and it totally fits.
Oh yeah, but funny you said that. Papa Emeritus 3, who is the lead singer for Meliora, is the fun Papa.
Oh.
He's the rock star Papa. He's the one who, because the previous two Papas, they wore robes all the time. They wore their anti-popal hat all the time. And it was very, very like, we are teaching you, the children, the word of Satan kind of thing. It was very... The first,
serious.
Yeah, the first one is an old man. The second one is a slightly younger dude, but still looks relatively old. But got wrapped up. The story in the band gives that he got wrapped up in banging women. Literally, that's the reason why he had to stop. And his younger brother, by 3 months, Papa Emeritus 3, took the reins.
Huh.
Yeah, that's kind of the joke that shows some of their jokiness in the band. And Papa Emeritus 3 was like, all right, let's really get the message out. Let's try and make this like palatable to the kids. And so he started shows in his robes, and midway through, like, he released them, and he's like in this nice dapper suit, and he's like pointing to the crowd like a rock star and doing the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at some Google images of him, and like there's a lot of cool fan art of him in this dope ass suit, just kind of hanging around. Like he almost reminds me of there's some character from Neil Gaiman's Sandman lore I'm thinking of. So he looks like a character from that comic.
Yeah.
And I dig it.
But yeah, there's been 3 Papas so far, and now we're at the Cardinal. But if you just Google Papa and Mierces, you can see just in the characters' faces how you can feel their tone.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at a comparison shot here of him now. The first Papa looks fucking ancient.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the tone they had. It was like ancient druid Satan music.
So this is like the fun album. This is literally what you did, is you picked the fun album that you show to someone when you want to get them into Ghost.
Oh yeah. The next album's gonna be the funner album if they go like, yeah, but I don't wanna get into the darker stuff yet. Alright, cool, here, listen to a new one.
Okay.
Because, okay. Look, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how to spell it. I'm doing it. First thing, Cornucopia. He's our Panda lead singer right now. Search Cardinal Copia.
Oh, it came up as an autocomplete for me when I started typing Cardinal.
Oh yeah, he's great. Just look at him.
Oh my god, he looks like a Showa era Kamen Rider villain. I love it.
Okay, do you want me to spoil some of Ghost for you?
I don't care about spoilers for anything ever. Go ahead.
Okay, the best way to put it, it's not spoilers, it's more like breaking kayfabe.
Huh.
That's the better way to put it. It's, do you want me to break kayfabe for you?
Do it.
Well, first off, in the storyline for the next album's kind of general story is the Cardinal trying to become Papa 4.
Huh.
He's trying to prove his worth to become the next Papa. Okay, that's the storyline. Now, in real life, all of the Papas and Cardinal are played by the same dude.
I thought as much, yeah.
Okay, his name is Tobias.
Mm-hmm.
And the only fucking reason we know this, because he did not want to release this info, he was adamant against it. He wanted the band to always be anonymous, 100% never reveal their faces, anything like that, is that several members of the band, several nameless ghouls, previous nameless ghouls, by the way, sued him for money they felt that they were owed, and Tobias had to release all the information about the band and basically say, no, this was my project. I hired you guys as studio musicians, not as creatives. I paid you what we agreed. The court case is still going on, I believe. Yeah.
Interesting. So it's very much people trying to make a claim against what was essentially a work-for-hire agreement.
Yeah, I'm reading the Wikipedia because there's a little bit of it on Tobias Forge page that they claimed that it was going from a band into a solo project with hired musicians in a hundred-handed and shameless way. He disputed it, claiming Ghost was always sort of, I guess, a authority sort of band where there was people playing live, and the people playing live were not necessarily the same that played on the records. So, yeah, that studio musician kind of mentality claimed that no legal partnership ever existed between the other members and himself, and they were paid a fixed salary to perform and execute the band's image as he instructed as musicians for hire. So...
well, that's kind of sucky. I hope he gets it worked out.
Yeah. So there's currently all new nameless ghouls. And none of their current identities are their identities are released, because now that the cat's out of the bag, they just kind of went, all right, fine.
Once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it.
Yeah. But that's kind of the man behind the curtain. He's been in several other bands, including a death metal Swedish band called Repugnant. I listened to some of that stuff. It's pretty good. I might listen to some more. You would probably not like it. Because it's exactly what you feared Ghost would be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I said I was starting to say, I've heard that name mentioned. I'm pretty sure it was by Few, and he's super into that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's exactly what you feared Ghost would be. He was also...
let me just be clear. I'm not saying that kind of thing is bad. I get the appeal of it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't like.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure commenters don't get confused.
Yeah, he was also in a glam metal band called Crash Diet.
A glam metal band.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, 2000 to 2002, he's a guitarist for a glam metal band, Crash Diet. Instruments: vocals, guitar, bass guitar, drums, keyboard, kazoo.
Great. That sounds fun.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that was Ghost.
That was Ghost indeed. This was a really, really fun experience for me. I wasn't expecting this sort of thing, and I'm really glad you made me listen to it. I don't know if I'm going to go back and look at some of their old stuff, but I'll definitely check out the new album, because you made it sound super interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see whether or not I keep up with these guys, or this is just like a one-off kind of thing for me. Is like, yeah, I like that Meliora album they did, if somebody ever brings them up to me in the future.
And maybe listen to the singles if you get a chance. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I might. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. So if I can switch over to Discord here and turn on my screen sharing, we're gonna go ahead and select the next topic. Are you ready, Chris?
All right.
So
Let's...
I'm gonna select the topic list.
What are
here.
the odds? What are gonna be the fucking odds if it's another thing I suggested for like...
If it's another thing you suggested, I'm writing. Alright, are you ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Okay, we will know the next topic in 3, 2, 1. Hey!
There it goes.
Something I suggested. Next time we are going to be talking about Database Rangers Power Reviews Year 1. If you know anything about me, you know I am a huge fan of this series. It is essentially a weekly Power Rangers one-episode review show hosted by Database Ranger, which is a fictional character created by Jacob Brody, who I am good friends with ever since meeting him on a live stream once, and he told me about the show, and I went and watched all of it in like a night and got super into it. And it's not quite over yet. There's still like, I think, 10 episodes left, and it just takes him forever to get one out these days, because the thing with this show is it slowly ramps up in complexity and effects and how much the story is involved with the reviews. And we'll talk about that when we actually get to it. But
you're making it sound like it's a classic style, like 2010 style critic review.
One of his main inspirations was Linkara. But I feel like he surpasses anybody who's ever done that style. Like, Power Reviews is like in my top 4 favorite story-driven review things. But we'll of course talk about that more when we actually do that topic on the next episode, which may be a little bit, because I think the videos are like 10 or 15 minutes a piece, and there's at least I want to say 15. There might be 20. I'm gonna go check right now. I will bring it up on YouTube.
Yeah, because it took us 3 weeks to watch all of Beck and talk about it.
Yeah. Well, remember that was also because I had a hard time getting through the first half.
Yeah. That made me a little worried when we started talking about doing Ghost, because I was worried, maybe my music taste is just completely different than yours, and it'd just be very, very incompatible.
Oh, he does not have a playlist just for year one. He has it all. He has the whole show in one playlist. So, let me see if I can figure out where year one ends real quick.
Oh, lordy. Content, people, content. This is what you don't pay us for.
Oh, you know what? I think I was wrong about the ordering. Year 0 is a thing. He goes 0, 1, 2, etc., etc. So I think all of the Samurai reviews are year 0, and then the Super Samurai stuff is year 1. So we're going to do episodes 1 through 8 of Power Reviews, which is his review of a selection of the more important episodes of Power Rangers Samurai. So, we will of course talk about that next time, but for now let's go on to questions, and just as in the last few episodes, we're still not getting any emails at analyticalfanboys@gmail.com. I just went and refreshed the page. So instead, to keep this segment from just being us saying, hey, let's do Q&A, people send us questions. I'm going to start pulling a randomly selected question every week from randomlist.com/questions until we actually get some ones from the listeners. So, are you ready for our randomly selected question for Q&A?
Sure. Whatever.
Okay. Okay. So, the question is, have you ever been scuba diving?
Nope.
Well, it depends on your definition of scuba diving. Have I ever gone and done it in, a wild environment like a river or open water or the ocean? No, I have not. I have done a lot of test scuba diving. That was actually back when I lived in Florida. My dad and I used to talk all the time about how we wanted to get into it and have it be like a father-son hobby. And then we went a couple times to these scuba aquatic life fairs that I forget what it was called, but there was some aquatic life and exploration center near where we lived in Florida, and once a year they would have this fair where it was you could go look at all the new types of scuba diving equipment and pet a sea turtle and do this and do that, and they had this huge diving pool in the back of the facility, and during this fair they would have you could go and scuba dive in the pool and see if it was for you. And I did that a few times, and I always enjoyed it. I would definitely like to actually do it in a environment that's not controlled at some point, but yeah, in a sense I have scuba dived.
All right then.
I
had
so
one.
Yeah.
If you want to do another one just to fill out time and maybe get an actual answer from me, I don't care.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Good.
You made it sound like
question.
It sounded like you had pulled it up for some reason.
No.
Okay.
I'm lazy. That's the characters we have.
All right. Let's go ahead and select another one. Are you friends with more men or women?
Probably dudes, just because... if I consider, top-tier friends and not just, acquaintances, it's, 60-40 dudes.
I'd say it's much more extreme. If we're going, friends and not just people I know, it's probably more like an 80-10 for me. Because,
80-10? I don't think your math quite lines up there, bud. 80-20.
100%.
Yeah. 80-20.
Oh, yeah, 80-20. Okay, it's more like an 80-20.
I'm nuts. God.
I will turn this podcast around, mister.
Doesn't that just mean you rewind it?
Yeah.
Because, of course, we...
Don't question my frets.
We record this podcast on analog tape. Because... hipster.
So yeah, it's definitely not a sexist thing. I think it's just a fact of life thing, is if you get on the internet, certain things that you look for are more of a boys thing. And that's not to say women can't be into them and can't make content based around them, but for a long time, there weren't a lot of female toy reviewers. There still aren't a lot. There aren't a lot of women doing analysis channels, or at least doing them in a way that appeals to men. You know, a lot of the female content creation on the internet these days is either art, and I mean like people doing illustrations, stuff like makeup tutorials or cosplay.
That also seems like you just have you haven't gone out and seen it, cause
yeah, that's possible too.
Cause just opening up purely my subscription feed, I already have one woman who does D&D videos and other fictional content. I know Butterbuns, who does video gaming content. Pushing Up Roses, who also does video game content. Then you also got to think about like the women who are part of the creative department of Rooster Teeth. They're technically YouTubers.
Well, I'm not a big Rooster Teeth guy, so I wouldn't know a lot about that.
Yeah. I'm just I'm not trying to dispute your experience. I'm just saying there are some out there.
I mean, I did make a video several years back on my secondary channel, Vacuuming After Dark, called I Want to Watch More Female YouTubers, where I was just inviting people to suggest channels to be in the description, because the only real female content creators that have ever been pushed to me is, first off, one who isn't even a woman anymore, Jesu Otaku. I used to watch he/her, but now he.
Just say he.
Yeah, he. I used to watch him a lot back in the That Guy with the Glasses days when I was big into that site, but that was like 5-6 years ago now. Oh god, what's her name?
Lindsay?
Not Lindsay.
Lindsay Ellis.
Though I know who you're talking about.
No, I was just saying that so the audience aren't questioning who the fuck is Lindsay.
Yeah, there was some woman who did video analysis of Pokemon games.
I know who you're talking about.
Digibro used to always talk about her, and she did this one video about her perspective as a girl growing up playing video games, which was really fascinating, but she had to take it down because she got a lot of really sexist comments. And I watched her for a while, but I eventually stopped watching her because, and admittedly, this is really shallow, and I'd like to think I've moved past this because this was a couple of years ago. I stopped watching her because I found her voice really grating.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do that to male YouTubers all the time, too, just to be fair.
But I watch a good number of women. Now we're just on a completely different subject. Back to the original. Most of my friends aren't internet friends. They are people
and that's another difference between you and me, is most of my friends are.
I grew, my best friend is still, I've known him since middle school. And technically, in middle school, he was my bully.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was my bully, so I just annoyed him into becoming my friend.
Nice.
No, he describes the moment because we went through middle school. I considered him a friend. He hated my guts. And then we were in a shared science class in high school. And we all made fun of the teacher because the best way to put it is he had very protruding nipples. And every other thing out of his mouth, every other word was So, class, we're going to talk about
Wow, he was one of those, eh?
Yeah. No, and we always make fun of it. And so we got more genuine friendship during that moment. And then someone made a joke disparaging of me, and then he says he realized that we were actually friends in that moment because he went, "You can't say that about him. Only I can. Fuck you."
Nice.
Yeah. So now we're some of the greatest friends, best friends, and yeah. I even kind of helped him onto his current path in life because he is a sculptor. He's off of school, but he goes to a sculpting school, a really nice facility and everything. But he wouldn't be on that path right now if I didn't bug him into coming to my art school to take sculpture there.
That is dope as a rope. But yeah, the reason I got on the female content creators track was just because a lot of my friends I've met either because they were content creators or because they watched the same content creators as me, and we were like in a live chat for something and said content creator was doing.
Yeah.
I've only really got one friend who I've known for a really long time, and started out just like I just met him and we clicked, and that's my script editor Bill Forsyth, who is now more of an internet friend. I haven't really seen him in person in a couple of years now, but I'm aiming to fix that sometime soon. I would like to go hang out with him at some point during the coming summer break, but that's pretty up in the air right now. So, yeah, just never had the chance all that much to interact with women that much in a friendship capacity. Though I would not turn it down were it to come up now.
Yeah, and two of the greatest friends I had in college were both illustrators. Wanted to do animation. They're still some of the best people I've ever met. It's rarer and rarer to talk to them just because they're busy and I'm busy, and whenever we try to talk, it's brief. But yeah.
So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Analytical Fanboys. Thanks as always to everyone for listening.
All five of you.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead and keep up with this show, if this is your first time listening, you just jumped in because you saw we were talking about Ghost and you now want to hear any future episodes we do, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you want to listen to this show on the go, take it wherever you want. Don't have to leave your YouTube app open and your phone on, or maybe you have YouTube Red and you can turn your phone off while you're listening to YouTube. Maybe you're one of them fancy pantses out there.
Or maybe you're a wizard and you don't even need a phone. You just can get it streamed straight to your brain.
That's possible too. But if you're not any of those myriad of things, we have a link down in the description where you can download an MP3 of any episode of this show from Google Drive. If you want to submit a question to be read on the next episode of Analytical Fanboys, go ahead and email us at analyticalfanboys@gmail.com. Make sure you put in the subject line, question for the podcast, okay to read on air. Or if you want to submit a topic for us to consider for future discussion, you can also do that. Just put in the subject line, topic suggestion, okay to read on air. And, yeah.
And if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends.
Yeah, that too. So
I'm just fucking up everything you do. That's my role in life.
You are. I went and made a script for doing the outro, and you're just stepping all over it. But I love it. It's great. Keep going. Anyways,
just hate your conformity. Fuck you. Power to the people. Eat the rich.
Oh no! I totally won't die. I'm poor as shit. Anyways, if you want to check out any of our individual stuff, you can find me on YouTube at The Vacuuminator, just youtube.com/TheVacuuminator. I do analysis of tokusatsu and other children's shows with a bit of a little something woven in. Chris, what is your YouTube?
I am Boingo Writer. I do video editorials, I guess? Is that a good way to describe it?
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
No, because I don't feel comfortable calling it a video essay because I'm not an authority enough to say this is the thing. No, it's much more of like, hey, I just have a thought and I want to give my opinion. Yeah, I think this thing's really cool. So I don't feel comfortable calling it a video essay. Editorial feels more comfortable, but
yeah. And if you want to keep up with whatever the two of us are doing in our day-to-day lives, you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter. I'm at The Vacuuminator, and Chris, you're?
At Boingo Writer. I think I have an underscore? Do I have an underscore? I don't know.
I do not think you do.
Hold on, let me check, because...
Oh no, we need fact confirmation!
Because I'm a... There's a phrase... There's an actual phrase for it. I'm a responsible adult. It is an underscore. Boingo underscore writer.
Okay. There's no underscore mining, though.
Yeah. You do know why it's Boingo, right? I told you that, right?
Yeah, because you're a big Oingo Boingo fan.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. We will see you next time when we will be discussing Database Rangers Power Reviews Year Zero. And until then, this is Simeon the Vacuuminator Scott.
I'm.
He is. And we will see you next time. Bye!